Your back office is going to have so much more leverage. Instead of having maybe 6 people in that back office, maybe you can get away with just having 1 or 2.
This can cut the time it takes by 90%.
You know how it was like, if you don't have a website, you don't exist? This is going to potentially be the next wave of that.
If people are going to be able to produce 10 times or 100 times as much content, meaning they're going to have a 100 times bigger footprint. AI for contractors. I'm excited to talk to you, Roman, because of all the people I know, you're probably the foremost AI tool expert. A lot of people think they know what's going on, but you're the man who's in the weeds trying all these tools and telling me which ones suck and which ones don't suck. I'm in the contracting world. I'm constantly thinking about running a construction business and how to do it better. And with all of these AI tools that are coming out now, ChatGPT being the main one, I'm brainstorming like, what are all the applications of this for contractors? One application I think is really helpful is email communications. So it can take a lot of time to write an email, but you can make a quick bullet list, or you can even make a short recording, like a voice to text, while you're driving down the road or while you're standing on a job site. You think of something you had to say to someone, make a voice note, and when you get home, throw it in ChatGPT, tell it you wanted to write an email that covers all the points, and it'll spit out an email in 10 seconds. You can maybe make a couple quick edits, but it can really speed up that process. A lot of contractors have been holding a hammer their whole life, so typing fast and writing isn't their strong suit. So this tool can really help with that.
On the topic of email, there is an email client called Superhuman. I've been using it for about 2 months. Have you ever had your inbox actually be at 0 before?
Only for 30 seconds.
It took me about a week, and then it was 0, and I've kept it at 0 ever since. It's a mixture of AI and just a really good user interface. It sorts your email better than anything else. Superhuman really only shows you email that you should be seeing. And it earns based on what you reply to and what you just straight up delete. So like, I can tell it's getting better since when I got it, but it only shows me the highest importance things. I'm just blown away by this piece of software, and I haven't shared it with anybody yet.
Okay.
It's funny.
With me, because that sounds like something I need extremely bad.
Yeah, you'll love it, man. It's funny because it's not even new. I think they've been out for 3 years. But at Raxos, we used Microsoft 365, and at the time, they were Google only. Now they do both.
Definitely looking into that. What other AI tools are there out there for emails and stuff like that? Do you know of any?
I'm not using it a lot for email. Like, you saw that meme. It was like, turn these bullet points into an email, and then the other person asked ChatGPT to turn the email into bullet points.
Yeah.
So funny. But yeah, I find that for emails, if you're generating emails with an AI thing, I find it does tend to be long and verbose, and I'm a succinct writer.
Yeah. Yeah, and so, like, warning, if you're using ChatGPT or any of these other AI writing tools, I find that, first of all, like, the instructions you give it are extremely important. Like, you can have it write an email based off of a text note or a voice note you made, and then you can say, okay, write this email in half as many words, and you can, like, keep going back and forth with it and refine it. I always edit everything that comes out of it first. Another use case for it is, so if you're doing meetings with clients, you can record that meeting. Like, you can record it on your phone, like it's just a voice memo or whatever, turn that into a transcript, and then throw it into a tool like ChatGPT and say, make me a summary of this, or put this in bullet points. And it'll pull information out and help you remember all the things without you necessarily having to write everything down. And as with all these things, like, these are new tools, and we're constantly discovering new ways to do it. I think it'll be helpful in estimating. So ChatGPT is coming out with plugins soon, which is going to let people plug in like Google Sheets and any kind of software. Like, it's going to be insane. But I think you could already probably use ChatGPT to help you estimate some things. Like, it's really good at math. You can dump a bunch of things in and give it some rules, and it'll organize, like, order of operations. I'll have to mess with those things. If you have any ideas for things you would want me to explore, maybe on a YouTube Live or something like that, throw them in the comments, and we'll just do it live, and we'll mess around and see what we can come up with. And also, if you're using any of these AI tools for your own business and you don't mind sharing, please do. We can all learn from it.
I think in the next 6 to 12 months, we're going to see a situation where if you're a construction business and you've got a back office, your back office is going to have so much more leverage. Instead of having maybe 6 people in that back office, maybe you can get away with just having 1 or 2, because those people can leverage the power of all these new software tools that are coming out to be able to do way more in way less time. Because that's how I'm leveraging it. And a lot of the things I'm doing, I'm able to get 6 to 10 times the output of, say, content writing that I was able to do before, when I was just writing it all with my stupid human brain.
Yeah, the tools right now, like ChatGPT, is most useful for content writing. So a lot of construction companies have blogs and stuff like that. Like, you can record a video of yourself, or you could just record a conversation you're having with somebody and put it into ChatGPT and have it output a blog post. And then all you have to do is read through it, edit some things, change some things, make it what you want it. If you've never even written a blog post before because you don't have time, or maybe you don't even know how to do it, like, it can really speed up the learning curve. You can even ask it, like, how do I post this on WordPress? It'll give you like step-by-step instructions. But if you are producing content now, this can cut the time it takes by 90%. And so something that you only do once a quarter because it takes you 4 hours, maybe you can do it now in 20 minutes, so you can do it more often. It's definitely having a big impact on my business, because creating content is something we do all the time. And where we would normally like take notes manually from a video, we can have the notes be put out in 2 minutes instead of 2 hours. And we can produce a whole bunch of drafts of content as a starting point for our content writers, instead of having to produce those drafts manually. So what's happening, and what's going to happen in every industry that this touches, is the top 10% of experts in the field, they're going to be able to leverage these tools to produce 10 times as much output. And they're going to be expected to produce that output, because that's going to become the norm. And everybody else that doesn't already have that expertise is going to have a much harder time, because they'll get outputs from these robots, but they won't know if it's good or not. And so you got to be really careful. If you're using this on a topic you don't really understand, it could be dangerous. That's why I suggest using it for simple things like emails. You can cut your time down a lot. You can get things written a lot faster, but just be careful, like writing articles for your website and things on topics that you don't really know about, because you might be putting out wrong information and have no clue. And you are not going to be getting any better or learning if you don't know, if you're not actually producing anything yourself.
If you're in the construction world and you haven't thought about becoming a thought leader in your industry before, I'm saying this because I know that most have not. They like to stay relatively unknown online. There's a chance that in the next few years, this is going to be the same thing as, like, you know how it was like, if you don't have a website, you don't exist? And now it's starting to become, if you don't have social media, you don't exist. This is going to potentially be the next wave of that, is that if you're really amazing at what you do and you're not putting out, whether it's video content or written blog post content or whatever it is, there's a chance you might fall into this realm of obscurity online, because like Chuck said, the people who are leveraging these technologies and putting out their knowledge and their advice online, they're going to be everywhere. Yeah, they're going to be unignorable. So I challenge everybody to get into that in some capacity.
That's true. If people are going to be able to produce 10 times or 100 times as much content, meaning they're going to have a 100 times bigger footprint, and there's only so much attention span, those people are going to suck up space. And I totally agree with what Roman's saying. Can you elaborate? What do you mean by thought leader? If there's a carpenter or contractor out there who's not really into this online stuff but is intrigued, like, what do you mean by being a thought leader? And then how can somebody like that, where should they start?
It's just the next level of trust building online. So you know how most websites will have a little bit of a story about the company. It'll be a couple paragraphs. Everyone has that now. And it's like platitude-y. So the more you can put out there, the more people can know, like, and trust you and differentiate you from others. That's the big thing there. And I know we've talked about a lot of really high-level stuff on this video, so I want to bring it back down to earth and make it actionable. So you had mentioned meeting summaries and stuff like that. So we'll drop a couple tools in the description. One's otter.ai, another is fireflies.ai. So we'll drop links for those in case you're doing a lot of Zoom calls for your estimates and stuff like that. But you can also upload audio. Chuck was saying if you're just recording an in-person meeting, you can actually upload your audio into there. And what it'll do is it'll summarize and give you action items and things to follow up on and stuff like that. And then on the content side, I know you guys are thinking about cool stuff in the car. You're thinking about ways to do the jobs better and, you know, how you can grow your business and stuff like that. Just whip the phone out in the truck on the way to the job site and just talk, just rant. Sorry, there's a vehicle or something, eh?
Yeah, someone's like drilling on the other side of the wall. I'm literally in the construction zone right now.
That's awesome. I'll just mute you for a brief second. So if you're just driving on the way to a job site, just whip out your phone, talk about whatever you're thinking about in your industry, and then transcribe that. You can use a tool like Descript or like Speak.ai. There's a trillion. Just Google how to transcribe an audio file. And then put that in a chat GPT and ask it to write a blog post based on that with no extra time taken to record it and just a couple of minutes to upload it and transcribe it and convert it to a blog post. You've created an amazing piece of content. And that's something that I think a lot of contractors could do at scale. They could do that every day and it would take them probably 10 minutes a day. But even if you just did that once a week or once every 2 weeks, you will be heaps further ahead of 99.9% of contractors, I promise you. You're unmuted now. It's still loud though.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm in a construction zone, but whatever. I've been pushing Roman to do more content for his own YouTube channel, so I think Roman is going to make a video on just a quick demo of what he's talking about, how you can hit record while you're driving down the road in your truck, and what to do with it, and show you how in just a few minutes you can have content that you could post online. And if you do that 2 or 3 times a week for a year, like, you're going to be a thought leader. That's just how it works. Like, when I started this channel, I literally just sat in front of the same camera. Once a day I would turn it on. I didn't even know what I was going to say, and I just talked to it for like 10 minutes. And I would edit the beginning and I'd edit the ends. Took me like 3 minutes, and then I would upload it. I did that almost every day for like a year. I didn't even know why I was doing it. But after a year, I had a couple hundred subscribers, and people were actually reaching out to me for help to hire my company. And I was like, holy cow, this is crazy. Never thought this would happen. It's the same for everybody right now. If you record some stuff driving down the road in your truck a couple times a week and you upload that, you're going to have an audience of people who relate to you, who like you, who think you're cool, who like listening to your thoughts, and who tune in whenever you put something out. And guarantee you some of those people are going to want to work with you. Not to mention, it's just really fun and cool to be able to put yourself out there and create this tiny little community of people who know who you are, even though maybe even your family doesn't even know you have this YouTube channel.
Yeah, it is super fun.
That was a super good tip. Again, we'll list these tools in the comments section, and then as soon as Roman gets that little mini tutorial video up, we'll link it from this video.
Yep, I'll walk through every step of it, real world.
Sweet. All right, last thing, if you haven't, click the link in the description, come join the Facebook group. That's where this conversation's happening, so if you want to be a part of it, head over there.
Heck yeah.